Hello dear children, today we are going to study the digestive system. The digestive system is one of the most important organ systems in our body. The digestive system brings about very important function, and that is digestion. Now we will study what is digestion. See children, whenever we eat food, while taking lunch or breakfast, when we eat food, at that time it is in complex form. It is in insoluble form. And when the process of digestion occurs, what is done here? Conversion of food into a soluble form and its absorption into the blood is called digestion. This food, if we take as it is the food, at that time, if chapati and milk, if you take chapati that is having the ghee, and also it is mixed with suppose chutney and milk, at that time, if you take it, can it be soluble in the blood? No, it is not. It is undergoing the procedures, some processes in our body, and then it becomes soluble in blood. For that, these digestive organs, they are very helpful. Now, what happens? We will see the journey of our food in our body. In that, there are some digestive organs which are this digestive system. It consists of the two parts, alimentary canal as well as digestive glands. Alimentary canal, it is very long and it consists of near about 9 meter long parts. There, alimentary canal is having the 9 meter length, and then there are some digestive glands. They help in the process of digestion. Now see, this is the model of digestive system, and this digestive system, it has this alimentary canal as well as some associated glands, and these associated glands, they help in the process of digestion. Now, which is the first organ of this alimentary canal? Mouth. See, this is mouth here. Then pharynx or throat. Here is the pharynx or throat. Then esophagus or food pipe. Esophagus is also called food pipe. The stomach, this is our stomach. Small intestine, large intestine, rectum and anus. These are the parts of our alimentary canal. Now, the digestive glands. There are 3 digestive glands. In that, first one is salivary glands. Salivary glands, these are present here. Salivary glands, they are present near ear, near the pharynx and below the tongue. Where is the location of salivary glands? Near ear, then near pharynx or throat and below the tongue. These salivary glands, they secrete saliva, and this saliva contains an enzyme called ptyalin or salivary amylase. This ptyalin, it is an enzyme. Now you will think, what is an enzyme? These enzymes are the proteins that bring about a specific chemical action in our body. They act as catalysts. In chemistry, catalysts are very important. They bring about the specific chemical actions in our metabolism, and these enzymes, they are very important and they are active at room temperature. They are secreted by the glands, they are having those are having ducts. And hormones, you must have come across two words, enzymes and hormones. Enzymes are also proteins, hormones are also proteins, but these enzymes are secreted by the glands, those are having ducts, whereas the hormones are secreted by the ductless glands. So these enzymes, they are playing vital role in the process of digestion, and the first one is salivary amylase, that means ptyalin, and that is secreted by the salivary glands. And salivary glands, they secrete saliva. Saliva contains an enzyme called ptyalin, 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 or it is called salivary amylase. It converts the starch into maltose. Starch is the polysaccharide. Complex substance is converted into simple. Polysaccharide is converted into monosaccharide called maltose. Then see, first of all, when we take food, the process of digestion, it begins in our mouth. And mouth is the beginning of our digestive system. In mouth, there are teeth. We will study the different types of teeth also along with model. So, these teeth, they are present in mouth, and these teeth, they grind our food into the smaller particles. Grinding of food takes place in mouth with the help of teeth, and chewing takes place here. Then when grinding of teeth occurs, salivary glands, they secrete saliva and it enters in mouth, because the salivary glands are below our tongue, and our food becomes moist, and this saliva gets mixed with the food in our mouth, and there is formation of food bolus, and our tongue pushes the food into the pharynx. Then in pharynx is nothing but our throat. There is the opening of trachea as well as esophagus in our pharynx. Trachea is nothing but windpipe. It is the part of respiratory system. And esophagus, that means food pipe. It is the food pipe. It carries from pharynx, food is pushed into the esophagus, and that food, it is passed to the stomach with the help of this esophagus. Esophagus, there is no action that takes place in esophagus because it acts as a pipe only. For example, in our pipes of water, what happens? From the municipal corporation to our tap, the water is carried only. There is no action taking place there. That water is carried from the water tank to our tap with the help of pipes. Like that, this is a food pipe and it carries the food from pharynx to stomach. Now it enters into stomach. Stomach is the large sac-like part of our alimentary canal, and stomach is very important here. See, all these things, those occur, good and bad things, they occur in our world only for this small stomach, puppy pit. Okay, let it be. See, this stomach, it is the large sac-like part, and it, when the food enters into the stomach, it secretes the gastric juice. Continuously, the gastric juice is secreted in certain amount, and this gastric juice contains three things: dilute hydrochloric acid. Dilute hydrochloric acid is secreted by the walls of this stomach, and then it also contains pepsin as well as mucus. And these three things, this gastric juice, gastric is the word that stands for stomach. It is the prefix that stands for stomach. And this gastric juice, it gets mixed with the food in stomach. There is the churning of food. See, churning of food like Ravi. With the help of Ravi, in our home, mother churns our yogurt. Yogurt is made with the help of that by the process of churning. And this churning occurs in stomach, and the food, it gets mixed with the gastric juice. Remember students, nowadays we come across the word acidity frequently. The young people or adults as well as old people, so many people say that I have the problem of acidity. Now, why there is the problem of acidity? Because our stomach, it is secreting the gastric juice and it contains acid. And if we do not take proper food, if we take food properly, at that time that food gets mixed with that acid. But if there is not a proper timetable of our food taking, at that time what happens? Because of that there is the production of acid. But as there is no food, what happens? The acid level increases and we have the problem of acidity. Okay, let it be. Then this food, it comes into the small intestine. The main process of digestion occurs in small intestine. What happens? This small here you can see the liver. Before small intestine there is a liver, and this liver, it is the largest gland in our body, and this gland, it is the very important gland because it is the main organ that stores glucose. And below that liver there is gallbladder, and this liver, it secretes one juice, and this digestive juice is secreted by this liver, and the name of that digestive juice is bile juice, and it is stored in the gallbladder. And via ducts, it is passed to the small intestine. This bile juice, it is passed to small intestine for the process of digestion. And here is the pancreas. See, this pancreas, they secrete pancreatic juice, and this pancreatic juice also enters into small intestine. See, in small intestine, which juices are coming here? From liver, bile juice enters into small intestine. From pancreas, pancreatic juice enters into small intestine, and the small intestine itself secretes one juice that is the intestinal juice. The name indicates intestinal juice. It is secreted by small intestine. Now, which three juices are here? Bile juice from liver, pancreatic juice from pancreas, and intestinal juice from this intestine. Now, this intestine, though it is called small intestine, it is very long. Its diameter is small, that's why it is called small intestine. But if you take this small intestine, if there is the surgery, they take out this small intestine. If we see that at that time it is near about 6 meter long. See, it is kept very nicely in our digestive system. It is near about 6 meter long, and this main process occurs here in small intestine. what happens? The slurry that is made in stomach by churning of food, there is the formation of semi solid slurry here, and that slurry is pushed here into the small intestine. From that, the nutrients, they are absorbed into the walls of the blood vessels. There are the blood vessels attached to it, and these walls of blood vessels, they absorb the nutrients. Those are in the food, and these nutrients, they are blood soluble now because of all these actions of these juices, as well as all these actions, those are going on in the process of digestion. They become soluble in the blood, and these blood soluble ingredients, they are absorbed in the blood vessels, and we feel energetic after taking food because of all these actions. And then absorption of food takes place here as it is converted into a soluble form, and then the remaining food is pushed into the large intestine. This large intestine, it is having the more diameter, but its length is 1.5 meter. The remaining small amount of absorption of remaining food, it takes place here, but mainly the absorption of water takes place in large intestine. In the beginning part of the large intestine, there is one organ, that is appendix. Appendix is also present in large intestine, and this large intestine, it brings about the absorption of water here, and the solid part, solid waste, is pushed forward to rectum. Solid waste part, that is the remaining part of our digestion, and that solid waste is pushed to the rectum, and via rectum it is pushed to the anus, and through anus the excretion of that solid food material, solid waste material, is done by anus, and that is the process of excretion. It is also very important in our body. Remember, if you think there is no excretion, what will happen? After some time, the person will die because of lack of excretion. That's why every process has its own importance. Like the process of digestion, excretion is also important. Now, you must have studied, you must have understood the whole process of digestion, the journey of our food, घासाचा प्रवास, the journey of food from this mouth to the anus. Like this, the digestive system, it plays its role. Every organ, it plays its role very nicely, and the family of digestive system, it goes on very smoothly, and we don't understand which processes are going on in our body, and then also our body keeps everything very nicely, and in this way the process of digestion occurs smoothly in our body. Okay.